what I've learned is we have to work together with the product team, with the game team to figure out which placement is actually more interesting to the users or which placement makes sense.
Could post-IDFA advertising be better than the good old days of advertising identifiers? Welcome to Mobile Heroes Origin Stories, where we go one-on-one, in-depth with mobile marketing experts. My name is John Koetsier. My co-host is Peggy and Salz, of course, and today we're talking about AdMon, ad monetization. It's taken a few hits lately. Obviously, Apple's ATT is here, Google's privacy sandbox for Android is coming, and ad identifiers like IDFA and Google Ad ID are going away. But just maybe that change has opened up new opportunities. Peggy, who are we chatting with today?
Indeed, John, we have someone who's turning a negative into a positive over and over again because she is spending a lot of time on ad monetization, accelerating ad monetization growth. Kelly Kang is Senior Director at Pixel United, where she oversees advertising strategies and ad monetization. And she spent a number of years at Pixel United helping accelerate AdMon growth and its advertising ecosystem. But if we step back for a moment, John, you might not have heard of Pixel United, but you have heard of its three major businesses. They have Product Madness, Plarium, Big Fish. Before that, Kelly held AdMon leadership positions at Zynga and Glu. And as always, I look into our guests and I found pure gold here. Her colleagues credit Kelly with exponential growth wherever she goes. As one put it, she personally added millions of dollars of incremental revenue. That's a feat in itself at Big Fish through constant optimization of existing ads and continual encouragement of the game teams to try new formats and new techniques. So we're going to have some new views. Welcome, Kelly, to the show.
I'm super pumped to have you. I mean, we got to talk about this. Personally added millions of dollars. How on earth did that happen?
I mean, appreciate the call out, but it was, it was done by through all the partnership and teamwork. I couldn't have done it without all the teamwork and years of educating the game teams and the company itself, the value of that monetization.
Good answer. Good answer. It is always a team. Absolutely. I'm sure you had a lot to do with it. But I also got to hit this Pixel United because Peggy was talking about, hey, we're going to talk to Kelly from Pixel United. I'm going like, what the heck is Pixel United? And then she said Product Madness and Big Fish and all those things. So tell us about that journey.
Yeah, I mean, as you guys might not have heard, Pixel United is somewhat of a newish. We're only a few months in, but we've been around. We just rebranded ourselves to a Pixel United. I don't know if you guys heard of it. We used to be called ourselves Aristocrat Digital. So we are part of the Aristocrat company. So we, out of the Aristocrat, everything that's digital related, including Big Fish, Plarium, Product Madness, we have now our own digital entity underneath Pixel United. So no, we're not new. We are been around, just rebranded ourselves.
So we know the story of Pixel United. Let's talk about you now. This is Origin Stories. You are our focus. How did you get started?
When I found out back in my days, when I first started this career, there's a career related to anything digital related, PC. Back then, there were just a little bit of mobile. A lot of them were PC desktop. And it was mind blowing. I was like, I can actually have a career that's sitting in front of a computer. So I started looking into it, because I don't have to study every single day. I thought computer was a new thing back in the day. So I started looking into it and landed on a QA job at first. And I self-taught myself through all the way to where I am currently. So it was the curiosity that turned into a career.
I'm really impressed by that because I'm just thinking there were no YouTube videos you could be watching to learn from. You had to learn it yourself. What helped you up that learning curve, Kelly?
I think that's a good question. I read every AdMon related article back in the days, but granted, it was over 10 years ago. So there were not that many articles. So it sounds like a lot. And I said, I read every article, but I could rarely find any articles back in the days. And it was shadowing and getting to know how everything is getting done on mobile. it was downloading a lot of the apps on my phone, game, non-game, just anything that's on App Store, top 100, top 50, and just figuring out how they're doing at advertising. Like, how are they making money from me when I'm not buying it? And again, so it was triggered by the curiosity. So I did, play a lot of the apps or, downloaded a lot of the non-relevant apps as well, anything that was on top 100 or 50. So it was just a lot of phone time.
Wow. I can only imagine. I mean, it's so many apps on your phone. I mean, I'm trying to get rid of some of the apps on my phone.
Yeah.
I love the journey like this, John. It's so inspiring. You do it yourself, you teach yourself. Granted, there weren't that many articles, but the curiosity is there, the passion is there. I have to ask, what would you tell your younger self, or what do you wish you'd knew then that you do now? So have a little conversation, Kelly to Kelly talk here.
I mean, I will say way few more years for YouTube to come out, so I can say few years. But all kiddings aside, I think it's more of a don't focus on 100% on this advertising and business side only, because that's what I've been only doing. Kind of growing up. I think kind of look into the other aspects of it. I definitely missed the technical aspects of it. I didn't know that technical side is related to advertising monetization. So I disregard that 100%. So I had to pay for it for a few years of headache in the past years. So I will tell myself, like, try to learn, here and there, a little bit of everything. Don't just focus 100% on this, advertising only. What ads are they serving, or who are they serving? I will tell myself to, it is, don't disregard the technical aspect of the ad monetization.
Love it. Love it. Well, let's get into what we teased right off the top. It's a big question mark right now. Ad effectiveness post ad identifiers, right? I mean, it was kind of I never want to say easy, right? But there was an ease to advertising and even maybe monetization in the past. You had an IDFA, there you go. You know a little bit about that person, you know a little bit about where they've been, where they've come from, all that stuff. Now there's less of that, a lot less of that. But you've said that opens up new opportunities. What are they?
I mean, it's going back in time, which is funny, like, given the mobile industry is such a fast-paced industry. When I say let's kind of step back and go back in time, people kind of look at me funny. But it's kind of going back in time. With this ID less, there's only about two things where we can do. Obviously, where the video stays as is, if you guys can target it, target your way. If not, there's two ways to look at it about it: interstitial and offer wall. But because I myself have a lot of apps on my phone, I personally don't really like intrusive ads such as interstitial. So we are kind of going back in time as to offer wall. I know offer wall was a big thing 10, 7, 8 years ago. And now not that many companies or apps have that. But because it doesn't require ID, I think it's a great way to take a step back and look into the offer wall.
Is that because in an offer wall, there could be multiple offers, perhaps from different apps, and you get a sense of self-selection? Which one are you interested in? So I don't need to know you to target the one right interstitial to you or the one right rewarded video to you. You get to kind of pick that real time. Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, exactly. Offer wall is a wall of so many offers. It's up to 20 to 100. You scroll down, there you have it. So it's just a matter of whatever you want, you get to click on it. Advertisers don't have to know who you are to show you the wall of offers or the apps. So it's a whatever you want to choose, kind of go for it.
Nice. Choose your own adventure. I love it. Awesome. That makes a lot of sense. What are some tips about optimizing an offer wall? How do you make it most effective?
I mean, with the whole positive, offer experience in mind, I will say I can narrow it down to a few things. One is a special promotion, meaning offer wall can be very stable, not too visible all the time. It's only about 3 to 5% of the entire user that's actually seeing it, which is a huge difference when you look at interstitial, real to video. We're talking 60 to 70% of the engagement rate. But for offer wall, it's only down to about 3 to 5%. But because CPI is so high, advertisers are paying so much, even with that 3 to 5%, we can still make a lot of money, just about same as your video. So few of the tips were finding the right entry point. So you don't want to kind of hide all this offer into all the way into the bank to the end of the corner. I will say do a lot of tests and find the optimal spot for offer wall. When we normally think about offer wall, the people first thing in their mind is let's put them in the bank and call it a day. That's kind of number one what's in the industry. But I will say that's the old mentality. So let's kind of revive this into a whole new thing. Just treat them like we're the video. Like where is the optimal spot there where people can actually see it? It's not intrusive. They get to still click in, opt in. So for me, it's just a more of a let's find the optimal spot for them. So choosing the right placement is number one, and the currency sale, kind of going back to the whole special promotion, currency sale it is more like you kind of run it monthly or every time there's a holiday. We give them double the amount of a certain period of time, double amount of the currency reward that you're normally giving it out. So users are engaging more. So overall, it's a retention positive, net positive. So we kind of tend to run monthly basis. We give out double the currency, for 2 3 days. So it's a really good experience for, I guess, win-win for advertiser and users both. I think lastly, it's all about the segmentation. Because it's ID less, we can really target them, we can really make it personalized for everyone or to their likings. So let's segment them where what we can. So obviously start from the payer, non-payer, what country they are in, meaning if they're not clicking IAP button at all, let's show them more. Let's give them more offers or give more currency so that it's interesting for them to actually do more offers. And maybe the colors, are they clicking on their normal UI because we don't have to know who they are? Are they normally clicking this color theme better or that theme better? Then let's make the button that color so it's more interesting to them. So it's more like let's segment and personalize what we can without having the ID.
Absolutely love it.
That's very smart.
Peggy's going to get into a lot of questions about ad partners, which is really, really critical in just a moment. But I have to ask a question because I have an expert right in front of me right now. Do you, as an ad monetization expert, get involved in product? Do you talk to the product team? Do you talk to them? I'm going to give you an example. There's a game I play. It's not one of yours. And I often don't buy stuff in there because I don't understand how it's going to help me in the game because there's so many different mechanics going on in the game. And so I would probably buy more if I knew what that gem was for or if I knew what that thing was for. Do you get yourself involved in product?
Yes, we do. I think that's one of the newest thing last few years that I've learned is in the first years of my career, I only focus on only advertising. Once game team kind of gives me the placement, then I only focus on that. But what I've learned is we have to work together with the product team, with the game team to figure out which placement is actually more interesting to the users or which placement makes sense. So it's more like working internally is about 50 to 60%. It should be your job normally, but which I recently found out only a few years ago. So which is a problem, but getting better. So because of that, now when you're actually building game or any kind of new game in beta, we actually start working with the dev team, with the game team, to product team to start from there. Hey, I know your game mechanics this, but can we try this out for the advertising or here and there so that we can add more KPI metrics to it? And what if users who never click on this, IAP button, can you show? Because I know you have a lot of those people that didn't click, the bank tab or whatnot, or they clicked it but they exited out. In that case, can we show our advertising? Because I think we can add few dollars benefits to that as well. So yeah, we do work part to part with our game teams and the product team.
Nice.
So smart here, not just the team effort to make product and marketing move together and work in sync, but also I'm still thinking about personalizing and segmenting the offer wall. I think that's probably an untapped opportunity, and there's going to be a lot of thinking around how to approach that. And how to learn from that. I mean, it's exciting. I hadn't thought of that, but between the 20 to 100 things you can be showing me in the offer wall, if you can reduce that universe of possibilities down to the ones I'm really going to click on and go for and install, that's a lot of money for one thing. That's very lucrative. That's exciting. Could you just tell me a little bit more about how you're segmenting that? Because it's one thing to say, well, we segment the offer wall, but I haven't heard of that.
We're kind of doing it in a little bit of an AI way, or trying to get there in an AI way. We're still far away, but basically right now we're doing a manual way where, hey, if the user have clicked this and actually finished their offer back in the days, then we will show that on the top of the offer wall rather than on the bottom. So we're kind of, I guess, tracking their clicks, what their last click was, or did they finish it, or were they not interested? So we're trying to learn what we can out of not tying down into the user. So if anything we can do in that sense, I want to make it into a where it's AI. So when user opens it, we immediately know what user wants and what that user might like better than the others. But right now we're so bit away from there, so we're only doing it as a historical way where of just kind of tracking what we can, in that user session, because sometimes user clicks more than once. In that case, offer one once, they click it, start it, go back and come back, within the same session. In that way, we're able to see the session side. So we're trying to track it. If the user's been playing for a game a long time, that means they already have a lot of currency. So they might be only looking into just a smaller offers. So if we kind of look at their offer wall, the currency balance as well. If this user is level this and above, let's show this type of offer on the top and this one on the bottom. So we are trying to kind of get to know the user within the game, at least only the game, now that we can try without this ID. So we're trying our best to just kind of in every aspect of it, has this game, is this user the type where, does this user watch a video? If they do, then they might not be so into doing, offer wall. In that case, let's just, because this user is so used to the video, let's show them only short offers because they're so used to watching only 30 seconds. But if they never actually done watching your video, that user might be more open because they don't know what the advertising is supposed to be 30 seconds or longer. So we tend to give them longer offers on the top as well. So try to segment in a detail as we can, what we can.
I love that. So resourceful, John. I mean, they've just got these few scraps of information and really trying to figure out what to do with them. That is very smart. So we talked about how you work together with the team, but you also are very focused on working with ad partners, and not just any ad partners. You have come up with a checklist of perfect partner. What do you track and what do you look at?
Yeah, where do I start? It's my favorite topic. Working with the partners is my favorite topic. Because I've been in this industry so long, I don't want to favor somebody over someone just because I work with them for so long or they're my family and friends. So I don't want to favor them. So I came up with the evenly fair, thing, which is a checklist. I made a checklist where I'm giving every new vendor that we're considering, ad partner that we're considering, kind of giving them a point system. It's I call it a report card checklist. It's it might sound a lot, but it's basically.
Do you send it home to their parents?
Exactly. To their whole manager, be like, you didn't make that cut because you missed this part.
C-. No ice cream tonight.
Get back to me when you're back in the A. So, few things, major things I'm looking at is product itself and a tech support, account manager day to day. So, to kind of break it down, when I look at the product, it's more like, can I trust the product, or is it in line with the industry? Or is this a product as good as it can be? What's the roadmap look like? Is our roadmap, decent enough where it can be, it can change at a given moment, given the industry? We want to make sure that they're adoptable. So when I look at the product itself, it's looking at just where the product is at and what their roadmap looks like. So they kind of get their own system for that, points for that. And tech support, meaning how easy is it to integrate? Because I partner with engineers internally, I have to kind of somewhat sell this product internally as well. So for me to do that, how hard or how easy for the integration is. What's the tech support look like? Can they actually support us while integrating? Or is it more of please go to this link and download it from there? Is it one of those? Because if that's the case, I actually have to know the tech side of it, or else I can't sell it to my own team. So that kind of factors in there as well. And most importantly is the account manager team day to day point of contact. Are they on par with the industry? Do they, reply within a reasonable time? As you know, there's so many things that could break daily basis on AdMon. So we want to make sure that our account manager teams are on it, who can be there for us, not asking 24/7, but who can be there for us at a given reasonable time. And because I want my team to actually have a good, I don't want to just kind of give them, hey guys, here's a new product, you're going to work with them. I want to make sure that they have a good work life balance. They have a good work experience as well. So I want to make sure this account manager that my team's dealing with every day, working with every day, are good as how my team is. So I'm kind of looking at those. Those are the few major points that I'm kind of looking at.
Love it. Just makes it easy to do business with. Good support, low stress. Interestingly enough, size also matters to you, and in the sense that too big is not always too good. It can even be a deal breaker. Why is that?
Yes. So I know that that's a very conflicted statement because I mean, too big is it's not the best answer, but a lot of people disagree. They're like, oh no, like you gotta go with the bigger company. But I disagree, given the years of experience. Sometimes when the company is too big, they are gonna be behind with the industry trend just because the adaptability is not there all the time. It takes them time to adapt to a new level of the next thing because the bigger you are, the more, I guess, steps you have to go through. The legal work for them takes 6 months, but in 6 months, we have a new product that's no longer relevant. So, and the bigger the company are, oh, our roadmap is set for the next 6 months or a year. So we can't change that. I'm like, well, but after a year, there's going to be 3 more new products that you have to catch up. So we can't do that. So when we look at like a company, like when it's too big, that's more of a red flag in my book, which is a very, weird thing because I know people like to go for the bigger company. I'm just looking at it based on with the industry, does it make sense? Can they change? Can they adopt? Or I think those are the major things and the reason why the bigger the company, maybe not the better it is for our industry, maybe.
We don't want to go too much longer. You've got work to go back to, and so do we. But we always end by asking for top tips. What are the most important things AdMon pros need to build into their monetization strategies?
I will say think of it from user's perspective first. When we are looking at ad monetization, we tend to be sometimes too focused on how many ads can we serve more to the user so we can make more money, which was me. So now that I learned, it's not about can we serve more or how many can we show more ads. It's more of a what do users want? What do they want to click? So always look at it from user's perspective is my biggest strategy kind of thing is are they gonna want to click this or are they gonna look at it goes, oh no, it's one of those ads. So let's keep that in mind and always look into, yes, we gotta look at it from user's perspective. Think of you as them at first and then see, are you gonna want to click on that ad? Are you gonna want to engage with it? So think of that first is my number one tip for the strategy.
Absolutely love it. I'm going to add a second one, and it's yours, but I'm going to say it. You've already kind of hinted at it. In fact, you said it out loud, and that is download lots of other apps, your competitors' apps, top apps, and see what they're doing. See how it's working. See how you feel when you get marketed to and when you see ads and when you see them where they put them in the flow, and you'll learn so much. Your boss will think you're just playing games, but you're actually doing valuable research. Kelly, this has been so much fun. You've been super interesting, super informative. Thank you so much for this time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kelly. I have to also say thanks for shining a light on some new strategies, some new ways to get, more bang for the buck, literally, because there isn't a lot to work with, but what you're doing with the few clicks you can see, just astounding. More power to you. Thanks for being on our show and sharing.
Thank you.
And thank you to all listeners. We really do appreciate you. Hope you're enjoying it. Let us know on social if you are.
And let us know if you want to come and we'll have you on the show. If you're a mobile hero or you know of someone who is, then fill out the interest form over at shorturl.at/JKSKT.
Also, Liftoff has a Slack for mobile heroes and people in the mobile ecosystem. There's a link on the screen, and if you're listening to the podcast, it's at info.liftoff.io/Slack-sign-up. It's pretty cool. There's smart people there, and you know what? They probably need you too.
And you have probably been completely blown away by all the insights on this show, and you want your transcript, and you can have it because the transcripts are over at Liftoff's website. Go to liftoff.io, click on Heroes, and then click on Podcast.
I actually personally love transcripts because I read way faster than people talk. So that's a great way to get insights really, really quickly. Until next time, this is John Koetsier. Thank you so much for joining.
And this is Peggy and Salz signing off for Mobile Heroes Uncensored.